Hey everybody, just want to welcome you to week 5, module 5 for ME 171, Design of Elements course. So within this module here, we're going to take a look at a couple different topics. We're going to start the topic of static body stresses related to chapter 4 in our textbook here. We're also going to spend Tuesday's lecture taking a look and forming teams for our group project, and then we're going to go through some example problems as well. Some bookkeeping items for this week. You have quiz number 5 has been posted to Blackboard and will be due on Friday the 5th by 4 p.m. Also, just a reminder that homework number 2 is due on Monday the 1st by the end of the day. Now, just a reminder, I do have office hours scheduled on Thursdays from 11:30 to 12:30 p.m. Right after our class. If that does not work for you, please send me an email or a message or a chat on Teams, and we'll find a time that does work. Also, a reminder that the TA has office hours as well on Wednesdays from 10 to 11:30 a.m. And this is a great opportunity if you have any questions related to your homework or grading. The TA is the one who is grading the assignments and the exams, so if you have any questions related to that, this would be a great opportunity to talk with him. So as we jump into Module 5, going over the topic of static body stresses, a little overview of what we're going to be looking at here. So once the external loads applied to a member have been determined, then the next item of interest is often the resulting stresses. So within this module, we're going to be concerned with body stresses existing within the member as a whole, as distinguished from the surface or contact stresses in local regions where external loads are applied. Now we're also going to be looking at stresses resulting from essentially static loading as opposed to stresses caused by impact or fatigue loading. So some topics we're going to cover during this module here. Take a look at axial loading, some direct shear loading, torsional loading, pure bending loading. Then we're going to take a look at induced stresses, combined stresses, go back and revisit Moore's circle, and from there look at stress concentrations with residual stresses and thermal stresses as well. And for relating back to our textbook, this is going to be related back to chapter 4, sections 1 through 14, so I suggest reading through those sections within your textbook. So we'll break this module down into 2 different sections. The first section is Module 5.1. This falls on Tuesday, our town meeting day. So there is going to be no lecture that day, but I have put up a video discussing forming teams for your group project. I would advise you connect with your classmates to form the teams for this, and the best place to do that is through Microsoft Teams, where a lot of students have already been discussing and chatting and forming groups together there. So that's one of your best resources is Microsoft Teams for this class, for the team that's set up for this class, and you guys can go there and figure out who's going to be in what group, because that's part of your quiz for this module here, is to come up with your team name and the members of your group and submit this as a quiz. Now every student needs to submit this, not just one per team, but every student does need to submit this. I'll be taking this information and then creating on Blackboard individual teams based upon the information from that quiz, so that the future projects that you guys turn in as a group, only one member will need to turn in, but for this quiz here, every member of the team needs to turn that in. Then we'll get into Module 5.2. Module 5.2 is still continuing on with Chapter 4, static body stresses here. And the topics we're going to cover within this one here, static analysis, axial loading, take a look at St. Venant's principle, talk about direct shear, single shear, and double shear. So activities within this here, we'll go over some theory, talk about some of these key equations, go through a few applications, and then go through some problem solving as well.